A healthcare center mistakenly sent death certificates to 500 patients that are living. A swarm of murder hornets attacked and killed a father and son while they were ziplining. And one country becomes the first ever to impose a generational ban on cigarette smoking. These are the weird stories on Wednesday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast that goes out 5 days a week. That's right, the only game in town. You want weird, bizarre, strange, kinky news 5 days a week? This is what you got. You got me. I got news, babe. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. I got news, babe. Beep, 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 beep. I got news, babe. Beep, 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 beep. And it's weird. A healthcare company mistakenly sends death letters to over 500 living patients. Maine Health is the name of this company. It's the state of Maine's largest healthcare provider. They said more than 500 living patients received letters indicating that they were deceased and providing instructions to their next of kin. This was all the result of a computer system error, they claim. Over 500 living patients got this death letter. I don't even know there was 500 people living in Maine. Is this everybody in Maine got this letter? Maine's an easy target to make fun of when you come from Massachusetts. It's something Bostonians bond over, just kicking Maine while they're down. All right, let me get some juicy details about this death letter that scared the crap out of half of Maine, it would seem. Now, to be fair, I mean, getting a death letter right now, for some of us would be welcoming, given the state of crappy affairs in the world right now. It's like, hey, you can no longer buy groceries for your family. Oh, and also, you're deceased. Oh, thank goodness I'm deceased. Does this mean I don't have to file my taxes for 2025? Wow, what a load off my mind. Now, the article says that Maine Health issued the death notice about a week ago. They're typically intended only for use in cases where patients have died. Really, geniuses. I would have never guessed that. Thought you would have sent that out to anybody with a toothache. Wow, Captain Obvious over here. We usually only send those death letters out to, when someone's died. Yeah, when their heart stops pumping, we pump out the letter. That's usually how it works. It's listed in our computer system as letter 51, also known as the croak letter. I named it. I'm pretty proud. Okay, so this croak letter, I'm going to call it the kick the can stationery, was sent out to 521 total living patients. Sadly, there's no copy of this death letter in the article I have here. I would have loved to have read that. Probably went something like, yes, good afternoon. We regret to inform you that you are deceased. Yes, that's right. You are resting in peace. You're a stiff, bereft of life, pushing up daisies. Your metabolic processes are now history. You have kicked the bucket, shuffled off your mortal coil, run down the curtain, and joined the bleeding choir invisible. If you have any further questions, please contact our main office, and have a wonderful day. Now, the company Maine Health issued a statement where they say, Maine Health sincerely regrets this error. And that is all. They say the patients affected were not listed as dead in their medical records, though, so no worries there. And the error did not affect their care or status in the system. The organization said it has since resolved the issue and sent apology letters to all affected patients. Well, thank goodness they sent out that apology letter, although I'm sure some people hated to hear that they were now alive. We have updated your status to living. Congratulations. Oh, damn it, Ma. Turns out I'm living after all. I just got the letter in the mail. I am, in fact, alive. Well, isn't that just a bummer? I was enjoying being dead, thinking about all those medical bills I'd never have to pay because I was dead. Murder hornets have murdered a father and son while they were ziplining in Asia. It's a very sad story. I'm so sorry to bring it up. It's weird, though. Being murdered by hornets while you're ziplining. A new fear has been unlocked, I think, and this moves up into my list of top 10 ways I don't want to die, I don't think. Murdered by murder hornets while I'm out enjoying nature. You're thinking, Jonesy, you have a list of top 10 ways you don't want to die? Yeah, don't you? Don't you think about these things? Like buried alive. Awful way to go. Who wants to do that? I read a story about a woman that died because she couldn't open the door to a sauna that she was in, and she just she just boiled to death in a sauna. Steamed. She got steamed to death like a dumpling. I would say that 5 of the top 10 ways I don't want to die are just regular ways of dying. They just involve Adele's music playing at the same time. Because, I mean, I don't want to die while also listening to the saddest music ever created. So, yeah, being buried alive and Adele's music is playing in the coffin, falling into a volcano while Adele's music is playing on a loudspeaker above the volcano. Not sure why that would be happening, but, you know, this is my imagination, and it can go to places like that. And now, surely murder hornets are on this list. You're being stung by 1,000 murder hornets while Adele's music is playing from their hive for some reason. All right, I apologize. I've gone off the beaten path here regarding death and how I don't want to do it. An American father and son have passed away after being stung by a swarm of hornets, murder hornets. This all happened when they were ziplining in Southeast Asia. We have Daniel Owen, age 47, from Idaho Falls, Idaho, and his son Cooper, age 15. They died following the attack at Green Jungle Park in Laos, which is just northeast of Thailand. There's a quote here from the director of the medical clinic down there. His name is Phanamse Fakan. Wow, what a cool name. Phanamse Fakan. I'm so sorry, sir. I just butchered your name, and you're the director of the Fakan Arakhavit Clinic. Well, I don't think I can hang out in this place and get away with it. Anyways, here's a quote from the medical director. He says, "The patients stayed at our clinic for a short time because our medical facilities are limited. The condition of the father and son was very serious, so they were quickly transferred to a nearby provincial hospital for further treatment. Sadly, the pair died at that provincial hospital. They were apparently stung by hundreds of Asian giant hornets as they descended from a tree with a ziplining guide at this adventure resort. Owen and his son were apparently on vacation in the country when they died after being stung more than 100 times. Wow, it doesn't take many stings to be killed by the murder hornets. I assume this is why they call them murder hornets. Murder, she wrote. Murder, she wrote. Now, the article says, what are giant Asian hornets? Do you want to know what giant Asian hornets are? I mean, they sort of speak for themselves here. They are the largest hornets in the world, as you can imagine. They reach up to 2 inches long, and they prey on bees and other insects. Yeah. And the occasional zipliner. It says, sometimes referred to as, quote, murder hornets. These insects cause dozens of deaths each year. Well, I mean, this is no bueno. Send in the Navy. What are you doing? Declare war with these murder hornets. Vanquish them from the face of the earth. Yes, I said vanquish. It's a great verb. You should use it today. I find it very effective when you're talking to or about your enemies. Vanquish. And now I've come to the end of the article. There's no GoFundMe or anything for the family. Otherwise, I'd post a link to that. Not that I can see anyways. It's a very, very sad story. I hate to bring you down. And I do enjoy ziplining, and this just gives ziplining a bad name. I'd say a bad rap. Some people are afraid of ziplining for many reasons. Heights, speed. And now you got to worry about hornets attacking you while you're zipping through the air. It just doesn't seem fair. And this is just a reminder that life is fragile, my fleeting friends. The Maldives have just become the very first country in the world to impose a generational ban on cigarette smoking. The Maldives, which I believe is a beautiful island. I should probably research this. Well, there's no smoking on the beautiful island, I can tell you that right now. This is what I'm learning. The Maldives. It's Maldives, not Maldives, right? I think it's Maldives. They have imposed a generational smoking ban, barring anyone born after January 1st, 2007 from ever smoking or purchasing or using tobacco of any kind. Oh, no. Gee, I wonder what happened to make smoking so taboo in the Maldives. It says the ban applies to all forms of tobacco, not just smoking. Retailers are now required to verify age prior to sale. The step makes the Maldives the first country in the world to enforce a nationwide generational tobacco ban altogether. The South Asian archipelago. It's an archipelago, which is a beautiful place. I don't know if you've seen archipelagos, but wow, are they gorgeous. They usually have crystal clear blue waters and no smoking allowed. I once had a dream that I boned a mermaid on an archipelago, and then afterward we smoke cigarettes. Now, Maldives has a population of over 500,000 people, and they already enforce a complete ban on vapes and electronic cigarettes, regardless of age, in an effort to cut down on smoking across the country. Yeah, I come across these vape bans more than I do these cigarette bans. And it's understandable, as the vapes and electronic cigarettes, they have other chemicals in there. Not that cigarettes don't either, but at this point in time, we know less about the long-term health effects related to this vaping stuff. So I'm a little more sympathetic to the vape bans. Not so much the smoking and tobacco bans. I mean, if you want to use tobacco, you should be allowed to. In my opinion, this is a freedom of choice. Foods, chemicals, sexual positions. I mean, this should all be on the menu for you as you go through your, as far as we know, one life on Earth. That's just my opinion. I like personal freedoms. I've said this on the show many times. I think you should be allowed to do whatever drug you want, as long as you don't harm people. You want to do some chemicals in the privacy of your own home. This is what you've chosen to do with your organism and your state of mind. Governments shouldn't be allowed to curate what states of mind are permissible or non-permissible for anybody, in my opinion. This is my mind, and you stay out of it. Sure, there's health consequences to some of these chemicals, but I mean, tobacco is not nearly as destructive as alcohol. I don't see them banning alcohol in the Maldives. I'm just pointing out contradictions, that's all. I got no dog in the fight. I've never even been over there. I'd love to go to the archipelagos. Seems like a great place to record the podcast on, archipelagos, and then go spearfishing and eat fresh fish right on a dock. What a dream. This article says tobacco is responsible for nearly 7 million global deaths annually, according to the World Health Organization, which calls the tobacco epidemic one of the biggest public health threats the world has ever faced. We're not going through a tobacco epidemic anymore, I don't think. Have you watched movies from the 50s? TV shows? Watch any talk show like before 1970 and everybody's just smoking all the time. Yeah, I mean, we're not there anymore. We have other more serious epidemics than tobacco these days. Have you heard about fentanyl or gas station crack or murder hornets? Here's a serious world epidemic: TikTok challenges. Have you seen these dumb activities that put your life in danger? Now, the article says that while the Maldives is the first country to officially impose a generational smoking ban ever, similar proposals have been considered by other countries, including New Zealand, which passed a law in 2022 that would have prohibited tobacco sales to anyone born after January 1st, 2009. However, New Zealand's new centre-right government rolled back that law in 2023, drawing some criticism from health experts. The British Parliament is considering a similar bill which, if passed, would bar anyone born before January 1st, 2009 from procuring and using tobacco and vapes. Wow, the British government trying to impose a smoking ban? Yeah, good luck with that. Come on, you out of your mind? None of this is going to fly in Europe. And just by the way, yeah, that's right, I said just by the way, I think history has shown us that chemical prohibitions just don't work. People create underground markets for it, and it just continues to proliferate. In fact, I would add that it makes the chemicals more attractive to youth, because as soon as you ban something, the kids are like, what is it about that? Why is it so taboo? I need to try that. It's a psychological thing. I think there's something to it, though. I mean, I don't know if there's any literature on what I just said, but I stand by it. Prohibitions don't work. They're just very impractical. There's a quote that I think of when I consider prohibitions: "Fear does the work of reason." Yeah, I mean, you don't need bans. What you need is education, and then allow people the freedom to make their own choice as to what states of mind they would like to have for the day. Perhaps you disagree with Jonesy. Well, you can email me, funnyjones@gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram, and I accept communication over there on that platform as well, @funnyjones. Hit me! Hello, my friends and loyal listeners of the Weird AF News podcast. Thank you so much for spending some time with me in this episode. Thanks to everybody who sent me articles the last couple of days. Very, very helpful. You can always email me, funnyjones@gmail.com. I'd love to read a review right now that was written from a dear friend of the show and supporter, someone who's a member of the Patreon as well. This is Chris from Texas. He wrote me a review on Amazon. 5 stars. How about that? Look at Chris waking up today feeling generous. 5 stars. The headline is, add this to your morning briefing and your podcast player. So the headline is a command, which I like. Then he writes the review. Tired of artificial intelligence slop? Add Weird AF News to your morning briefing. And if you have a sense of humor at all, you won't regret it. This isn't machine-generated content. No. Comedian Jonesy isn't going to just read you weird news stories. That would be boring. Instead, Jonesy crafts an imperfectly perfect show daily from weird news stories delivered with his signature mix of tons of puns, silly but non-offensive accents, intentional mispronunciations, and parody songs. Give this a go for a good giggle, and if you like what you hear, add Weird AF News to your podcast player of choice for the full experience. If you know, you know, and good luck with your life, man. This is just one of the best reviews I've ever gotten. Chris, tremendous. Thank you so much, bud. So appreciate that. If you guys would like to leave me a review, you could do so on Apple Podcasts and Amazon as well. And if you're listening on Spotify, you can give me 5 stars, which only takes a second. So please consider. If you would like to support the show, please go to weirdafnews.com where you can join the Patreon or buy me a coffee to get me through my day. Appreciate it. Disclaimer, if you buy me coffee, I may spend it on Guinness. That does happen sometimes. Or Zin. I do like a good Zin. Anyways, I shall keep you no longer. I'm going to get out of this closet. See you tomorrow.